What if your greatest battle came at the very end of your life, a final test before the curtain call? And what if you lost that battle, but still, somehow you were declared the winner? Here's the story of an old fisherman, a giant marlin, and a fight that became a symbol of human endurance. Welcome to The Old Man in the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. A tale of pain, pride, and persistence. In the heart of Cuba, nestled between the warm embrace of the Caribbean Sea and the rhythmic pulse of daily life, there existed a small fishing village where the ocean was not just a source of livelihood, but a way of life. For the men who called this place home, the sea was their domain. They knew its moods as intimately as they knew the lines on their own palms. Among them was an old man named Santiago. Now Santiago wasn't just any fisherman. He was a legend, or at least he had been. His face was a roadmap of his life, etched with the sun, wind, and salt of countless days spent at sea. His eyes, though, those held the glint of 1,000 triumphs. Or at least they used to. See, lately the sea had been a tough mistress. Santiago had gone 84 days without a single catch. No fish, no matter how small, had graced his line. For a man whose life was measured in the rhythm of the tides and the bounty of the deep, such a streak was nothing short of a nightmare. You see, the sea had turned against him, or so everyone in the village believed. Whispers followed him like shadows. He's washed up. Some would say his luck has run out. Others echoed these sentiments. Even the young boy who used to fish with him, Marlin, was forced by his worried parents to team up with a more successful boat. Santiago, though, refused to budge. His pride, as deep and strong as the ocean he sailed on, wouldn't allow him to quit. Every morning he would step into his small skiff, a solitary figure against the vast expanse of the horizon, and venture out to sea. Each time he cast his line, it was not just a cast for fish, it was a statement. It was a declaration of war against the uncaring sea itself. But fate, it seems, had a different plan. On the 85th day, far out at sea, Santiago's line went taut. A massive fish, a marlin of colossal proportions, had taken the bait. The old man's heart pounded like a drum. Could this be the moment he'd been waiting for? The battle began. The marlin dragged the boat, dipping and diving, testing the old man's resolve. But Santiago held on. For 3 long days he battled with the fish, not just with rods and reels, but with every muscle in his body and every bit of strength in his soul. Hunger and thirst gnawed at him, but he ignored them. His hands cramped and blistered, yet he never faltered. He was a warrior in a world of blue, fighting a foe both magnificent and merciless. And as the battle raged on, something extraordinary happened. Santiago, despite the physical toll the fight was taking on him, found a strange sort of peace. He talked to the marlin, addressing it as his brother, acknowledging the shared nobility of their struggle. He reminisced about his younger days, when he was known as the champion arm wrestler of Havana, a title he'd successfully defended for 9 straight years. He drew strength from memories, from stories, from anything that kept his mind off the pain and the endless expanse of the sea around him. He muttered to himself, "A man can be destroyed, but not defeated." And with those words as his mantra, he pressed on. Finally, as the 3rd day gave way to the 4th, Santiago managed to harpoon the fish. It was a gut-wrenching moment, the end of an epic battle. But as he tied the marlin alongside his boat, a sense of accomplishment washed over him. He had won. But his ordeal was not over yet. As he started his return journey, sharks began to appear, attracted by the blood in the water. Santiago fought them off, first with his harpoon, and then with a knife, and finally with an oar. But he was just one old man, and the sea, it seemed, was relentless. One by one, the sharks tore into the marlin, eating away at the fish until by the time Santiago got back to the village, all that remained of his prize catch was a skeleton. When he returned, the villagers gathered around him, their faces a mix of disbelief and awe. They saw the massive skeleton tied to his boat and gasped. No one had ever seen a marlin that large. In that moment, Santiago was no longer the unlucky old man. He was a conqueror, albeit a sorrowful one. The boy, Manolin, rushed to him, his face filled with admiration. Santiago, though drained and aching, felt a surge of pride. His spirit, much like the sea, was unbreakable. He had endured, and in doing so, he had reclaimed his dignity. So what makes this story so darn good? Well, for starters, it's about more than just fishing. That's right. It's a story about facing challenges head-on, no matter how daunting. See, Santiago didn't give in to the odds. He didn't let the whispers or the stares get to him. He just kept trying. And in doing so, he showed us all that it's not about the outcome. It's about the courage to keep going. The story also dives into the struggles we all face and how we deal with them. We've all been in situations where things don't go our way, where the world seems to be against us. But Santiago's character teaches us to keep our chins up and to keep moving forward. He doesn't complain. He doesn't give up. He adapts and he perseveres. Talk about a role model, right? But perhaps what makes this story truly special is the way it makes us think. It challenges us to look beyond what we see. For instance, Santiago might seem like just an old fisherman, but he's really a symbol of strength and determination. The marlin, on the other hand, represents the challenges we encounter, those big, powerful things that seem almost impossible to overcome. The sharks, they symbolize the negativity and doubt that try to pull us down when we're already struggling. And the sea, well, that's life, my friends. It's vast, unpredictable, and sometimes unforgiving. But just like Santiago, if we navigate its choppy waters with grit and grace, we too can find our way back to shore. So remember, no matter how rough the seas get, don't give up. Keep your eyes on the horizon. Hold on tight to your dreams and face whatever comes your way with courage. You might just surprise yourself with what you're capable of. Just like Santiago, the old man who dared to dream big and in doing so, taught us all a thing or two about life, loss, and the unwavering spirit of humanity. So the next time you find yourself in a tough spot, remember Santiago's story and let it be your guiding light. Let it remind you that even in the darkest of times, hope is a beacon waiting for you to reach out and grab it. And who knows, you might just find that inner strength you never knew you had. After all, as Santiago himself said, a man can be destroyed, but not defeated. And hey, if you found this story as inspiring as we do, why not share it with your friends and family? Let's spread the message of courage and resilience together. And hey, if you're still with us, drop a comment below. Let us know what book you want us to tackle next. Your suggestions are our treasure, and we can't wait to dive into the next literary adventure. It reminds us that real victory isn't always in what we catch, but in the fact that we keep casting our lines again and again. Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, share your thoughts below and let us know what book you want us to summarize next.